One technique has changed everything that I thought about Laura Geller. Here are my best and worst from Laura Geller and the one technique you really need to know. So I have accumulated quite a treasure trove of Laura Geller makeup, and I wanted to share with you the products that I think are the best and a few that I think are the worst, and one technique that transformed some of the products on my worst list to being on the best list. Let's start with Laura Geller's powder foundations. I have here the Double Take Baked Versatile Powder Foundation. This is in light, and I have here the Baked Balance and Brighten, and this is in fair. And for me, I actually like to combine both of these. I like the coverage of the Double Take, but then I like the finish of the Baked Balance and Brighten. It's important to note that you may not want the same colour in both. For example, I used the light in this one and fair in this one. Because this one has got the marbling effect, it is a little bit darker, I would say, than this product. But this is my top tip for Laura Geller foundation. If you want a bit more coverage than the Baked and Brighten gives, layer your Double Take underneath, then you'll get your heavier coverage with all the benefits of the Baked Balance and Brighten. Next up on my best list is the Ideal Fix Concealer. Actually, I bought this in a slightly too lighter shade to use as a concealer, but it's perfectly acceptable to use this as an eyeshadow primer, so that's what I have done today, and I think it's worked a treat. Now, the first item on my worst list, and I'm sorry to say it, Laura Geller, it is the Baked Body Frosting Face and Body Glow. Maybe I have used this incorrectly, I'm not entirely sure. I've used this as a bronzer around my face, and while from a distance it looks absolutely fine, up close my head is very shiny. And while I appreciate the kind of glimmering sheen of Laura Geller products, on this bronzer, it's a little bit too much. I've got a kind of a sheen, a little bit like Data from Star Trek. My whole head is shining, and I would rather it was a matte finish and didn't have this shine. Next up is the Baked Blush and Brighten. And similar to the bronzer, it's kind of halfway between my best list and my worst list. I think the colours are lovely. I love this marbling effect, but it's a bit too shiny. There's just a little bit too much shine on my cheeks. I would probably have been better to combine it with the blush from the Glam on the Go palettes, which look like they are just matte blushes. But these brightening ones have got a little bit too much shimmer and shine for my liking. Although I think my makeup looks nice today, there is a little bit too much glow and shine all around my face. So it kind of depends whether that is your vibe, or if you were looking for something a little bit more matte and a little bit more natural looking, you need to be going to some of the matte blushes in the Glam and Go Glow set rather than the Baked Blush and Brighten. Now, two products that have ended up the opposite way round to what I was expecting. The Baked eyeshadow set here I thought was going to end up on my worst list, but it's actually ended up on my best list. And this one, the Laura's Essentials, I thought was going to be on my best, but it's actually on my worst. So we got a bit of a swap situation going on here. And the reason being, on the Laura's Essentials palette, now, I wouldn't want to put all of these in the worst list, but the ones I want to put in the worst list are these pale ones here. These are really chalky and powdery looking, and I'm not sure if that works for anyone. I mean, I've got quite a pale complexion, but I don't want to be wearing these sort of chalky shades on my eyes. They are not going to be doing anything for me at all. I think these shimmers are lovely, but I'm just sticking this top corner here in the worst list because they are very white and chalky and not at all flattering. Now, as for the Baked eyeshadow palette, I love these colours, but when I first used them, And in fact, even today, I tried to swatch them and I just thought, I can't get anything out of here. I don't know why the pigment isn't coming out. I finally concluded it's because they are baked. I think baking does something to the consistency, which makes it very difficult to pick up the pigment. But I had a brainwave and I decided that I would dip my brushes into water and see what happened. And honestly, it transformed this palette. None of them are shimmers, but they are all a kind of like a satin finish, or maybe some are matte, but some of them have got a satin finish. And when you dip your brush into water and then go in to pick up your eyeshadow, it absolutely transforms these eyeshadows. It makes them really pigmented, really shiny, really beautiful, and really easy to apply exactly where you want them. You can probably see the edge is very, very clean, and that is absolutely fantastic. So that has solved all my issues with this palette around not being able to pick up pigment, not being able to control where you applied it. If you damp your brushes before you dip them in here, it will change everything. And this has become one of my top favourites on my best list. Next up on my best list are these Laura Geller eye pencils. Now, this one in particular is absolutely gorgeous. This is in the shade Smoky Amethyst. It is a kohl pencil, but it's a chunky one. And this is absolutely gorgeous. I just cannot get enough of that. I'm so pleased with that. I used it around my eyes, and then I went in after that with some of these finer gel eyeliner pencils closer to the lashes. And these again are fantastic. The reason I like these so much, I bought them in a set of 5 in all different colours. And the reason I like them so much is because 3 of these colours I think are absolutely fantastic. They are the shades Deep Violet, Dark Brown and Khaki. And these are so wearable. I'm not overly keen on the other 2 shades in the pack, which were a navy blue and a black. But these 3 colours I think are absolutely fantastic and really, really wearable for mature skin. So these 3 and the chunky one, they have made it to my best of Laura Geller list. Also on my best of list is this Kajal Longwear Mascara. I think my eyelashes look absolutely huge. I think this is a really fantastic mascara. I actually applied this in the shade Brown, but you wouldn't know it because it looks really dramatic and my lashes look thick and long. Next up in my worst of list, they won't be a surprise to you if you've seen my other videos, is the French Vanilla Baked Highlighter. I just cannot get on with this again, partly because it's baked and so it's very difficult to get the pigment out, but also it's just not a good colour. It's not much of a highlighter, there's not a lot of colour there. This one just doesn't do anything for me and I could do quite happily without that. And last but not least on my best of list are the items that I start and finish my makeup with. First one is the Skin Perfecting Primer in Spackle. This is a really, really lovely natural primer. I think this is great product to use with the foundations. It helps the foundations adhere to your face and stay in place. And this is a new one and I think this is really lovely. This is the Spackle Mist. So this is a setting spray, but what it also does is it re-moistens all of this baked powder that you've got on your face, which can be a little bit drying. By applying this all over, you're re-infusing your face with that moisture and it takes away some of that dryness that you can see potentially around the eyes and other areas. For me, this is an absolute must for completing a Laura Geller makeup look. So there it is. There is my list of best and worst of Laura Geller. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of my choices. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video and take a look at one of my other videos right here. Don't forget, stay curious and I'll see you next time.